Hi, everyone. I'm Elaine Quijano from the home of the 2016 Republican National Convention in Cleveland, Ohio. The Republican Party officially nominated Donald Trump Tuesday night. Trump sailed past the 1,237 delegate threshold with his state of New York putting him over the top. Donald Trump Jr. announced his father had formally secured the nomination. The crowd erupted in cheers, and the words "over the top" appeared on the arena's big screen. Later, the audience was brought to its feet again when rival-turned-ally Chris Christie made his case against Hillary Clinton.
Since the Justice Department refuses to allow you to render a verdict, I'm going to present the case now on the facts against Hillary Rodham Clinton. As a failure for ruining Libya and creating a nest for terrorist activity by ISIS, as an apologist for an al-Qaeda affiliate in Nigeria, resulting in the capture of innocent young women, putting big government spending financed by the Chinese ahead of good-paying jobs for middle-class Americans, as an awful judge of the character of a dictator and butcher in the Middle East, as an inept negotiator of the worst nuclear arms deal in American history, as a flawed evaluator of dictators and failed strategist who has permitted Russia back in as a major player in the Middle East, as a coddler of the brutal Castro brothers and betrayer of the family of fallen state trooper Werner Foster and his family. In one of her first decisions as Secretary of State, she set up a private email server in her basement in violation of our national security. Let's face the facts. Hillary Clinton cared more about protecting her own secrets than she cared about protecting America's secrets. As to Hillary Clinton lying to the American people about her selfish, awful judgment in making our secrets vulnerable, what's your verdict? Guilty or not guilty?
That was former federal prosecutor Chris Christie, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, making the case against Hillary Clinton. Joining me now to talk more about that, Steve Chaggaris, our CBS News senior political editor, as well as Nancy Cordes, CBS News congressional correspondent, who has also been following the Democrats and Hillary Clinton. Steve, first to you, what did you make of Chris Christie's speech? At certain points, people were on their feet chanting, "Lock her up, lock her up."
Quite harsh. You know, his sort of rhetorical indictment of Hillary Clinton, feeling that he's filling in a blank that should have been filled in with the email scandal. It was probably the most rousing speech of the night. It definitely got these delegates fired up, got the place fired up. We hadn't seen the roof really blown off the joint at all in the last couple of nights. I'm not sure he did that, but it was a moment that was sort of fascinating to watch, because it was a laundry list, at least in his mind, of all the things that basically disqualify Hillary Clinton to be president, and laid out the arguments. If you're somebody here who's undecided and you watch that speech, you probably raise a lot of questions like, wow, this woman sounds like the worst ever, right? But at the end of the day, you know, I'm not really sure how effective something like this is going to be. I mean, this is really, again, red meat for the audience here, these people who are just so vehemently against Hillary Clinton, Republicans who just don't like her as a candidate. But ultimately, I'm not sure he was really prosecuting a case that an undecided voter is going to believe.
Well, I think, you know, they're trying to preach to a Republican crowd here in the hall first and foremost, and Republican leaders are recognizing that Donald Trump is probably never going to unify the Republican Party, but Hillary Clinton is a unifying figure to the Republican Party. And so each of these speakers who, to varying degrees, support Trump themselves, know that they can make a difference by reminding Republican voters, diehard Republican voters, that, hey, he's better than the alternative. We don't want to see Hillary Clinton in the White House.
Right. I mean, the choice, they're setting up the choice, right? And what they're doing here is we're talking about two candidates who have extremely high unfavorable numbers. Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's unfavorable is a little lower than Trump's, so keep driving those unfavorables up. Laundry list of all the things that they think disqualify her to become president, and just keep hammering it. And as you said, unifies Republicans. The Clintons unify Republicans like no others.
So, Steve, you mentioned undecided voters, but I'm curious, Nancy, when you look at the numbers for Hillary Clinton, we have talked so many times about this vulnerability when it comes to the honest and trustworthiness figures. So as this theme of Hillary Clinton and her ethics continues to be shouted from the rooftops here. What about that? This is a challenge that has been a persistent one for Hillary Clinton.
Sure, but I think we have to remember that it's also a challenge for Donald Trump because his numbers are not stellar in this arena either. And it's possible that after a week of this convention, those numbers could take a hit. We've seen the debacle surrounding Melania Trump's speech, the words lifted from Hillary Clinton's speech. We've yet to hear from Donald Trump himself, but we do know that his campaign basically came out today and said, plagiarism? What plagiarism? We don't agree. Nothing to see here, even though most Republican leaders themselves acknowledged that these words were lifted almost directly from not only another speech, but from a speech by the wife of the president that they are here to criticize. They're basically here saying nothing good has come out of the last 8 years, and yet their potential future first lady is lifting these words of inspiration from the current first lady.